Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now you can probably see me getting dressed into my Team Not Pogi jersey there. It's great to have an in real life team kit as we continue to build this amazing community. Now today's video we're going to be talking about what to do if you've ever lost your mojo on Zwift and you don't really feel like cycling. Now I have to admit this is something that kind of happened to me very recently, and I did a couple of things that really helped me get back into the swing of it. Now today's course, we're racing on the Champs-Elysées course in France, and this is part of the Zwift Elysées series, I believe it's called. And this was my first race back after probably, I think it was about 16 days off the bike. Now granted, some of that time off the bike was holiday, but some of it wasn't. Some of it was just me really not wanting to Zwift at that particular point. So I don't know, it happens, you know. I've been Zwifting now since late 2020 and I've been pretty consistent. I do try and mix it with outdoor cycling, but here are a few of my tips to get back into the swing of things on Zwift. Now firstly, I would say take a natural break without stressing about losing some of your fitness. Now, if you do take a little break, what I normally tend to do is get worried that, you know, all the fitness gains that I've made, I'm going to lose straight away, which, you know what, you're not going to lose your fitness if you have a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks off. And that is something that I was stressing about, and actually, I would say, don't worry about it. Now, all of these things that I'm going to tell you or talk to you about, it's all in my opinion. So they might work for you, they might not. But, you know, hopefully a bit of kind of my experience will help some of you out there. Now, the second thing you can do is revisit your cycling goals. You know, why did you start Zwifting, or why did you start cycling in the first place? Get back to basics and remember a time where you loved being back on the bike. Now, I did that a little while back, bit of nostalgia. I watched a few YouTube videos, not of me, but of, you know, other people that I used to enjoy watching. And, you know, that really helped motivate me get back on the bike again. A couple of other things. So do the things you enjoy, whether that be race or, you know, do some structured training or zone 2 or group rides. Do the things that you love on Zwift and don't worry about not doing the things that you perhaps don't like so much. At the end of the day, it's all about enjoying it. And if you enjoy it, you'll get on the bike more and you'll become fitter if that is your goal. And finally, the other thing that I would say is just start off with something little. Start off with a little ride. Don't underestimate the amount of endorphins you will get when you just, you know, get on that bike for that first time. Even if it's for like 15-20 minutes, it doesn't matter, but just doing it like little bit at a time, I would say will really help. And the amount of endorphins you'll get when you start to see, you know, a little bit of improvement, whether it be, you know, a bit of increase of power or your heart rate's not as high when you're holding a certain amount of power, it will definitely give you that motivation to get back onto the bike. So hopefully, you know, give one of those or all of those a try, but that has definitely helped me in the kind of, well, recent times get back on the bike, because, you know, after doing it for such a long time, you can lose a little bit of motivation, but you know what, that's only natural, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. And actually that was part of the reason that I jumped into this race. So the Champs-Elysées course here is a race that I used to do, and I remember doing it kind of back in the early days of Zwift. They used to have the kind of, I think, anti-sandbagging or Zwift Works, I think it was, races every week here. And I used to absolutely love doing this course because it's pretty flat. You know, there is a little increase or a little bump kind of halfway through, which is not really, you know, it's really anything to write home about. But yeah, and I remember doing this in about 22 minutes flat, and, you know, holding a 20-minute power of like 280. Now, I am nowhere near that at the moment. This was I think category, I think it was something like 330 to 450. My Zwift Racing Score at the moment is about 440, so it has dropped a little bit. So the main goal in this race for me was just to kind of hang on to the main bunch, and like usual, try and, you know, do my best at the end, not lose anyone, you know, during the little incline which we're about to come through. And so far so good. You know, it's not been a crazy fast race so far. And up this little incline that we're just going to come up here, I'm just going to try and do my best to draft, and then maybe, you know, I was thinking maybe I could give it a little bit of additional power at the top, but it is quite a drag. But I don't know, I just remember doing this back in the day. It was, I reckon, back in kind of late 2021, and it was absolute carnage up this bit. It was the old B category, and I remember doing kind of like 400 plus watts and just about hanging on to the group. But I'm not in too much trouble here. Heart rate's not that high for me. As I say, my max heart rate's about 185, something like that. So, you know, not too high. Cadence is pretty good. So, you know, I'm not really struggling. And I'm thinking to myself, I've still got this, what is it? It's not an aero, it's the draft van. So I can use that in a minute. And just coming up to the top here, probably in hindsight, that wasn't a great thing to do, go off the front there, and I didn't actually use my power up. I could have got another one there, so that was a bit stupid. So, you know, a couple of little mistakes, but once again, that is quite a common thing for this channel at the moment. And yeah, the group just comes back, pop the drafting boost, which was a complete waste of time because now I won't have a power up for the final bit of this this race. But just coming around the corner here, you can see my average watts is 244 so far over 19 minutes. So, you know, way off what it used to be at 280. Now I'm not too worried about that because I know that I can hold, you know, close-ish to that if I really was going full gas. And I think at the same time, this category wasn't as, you know, it's not as high as the old category B, you know, the old 4 categories. So, you know, you can only race as hard as you can. I'm much better now at sitting in the pack and actually not wasting a lot of my energy. But yeah, so far so good. I'm just kind of saving a bit of energy now until the final push. Now, one thing I will say is I didn't actually turn on my Zwift steering, which was kind of annoying because I kept getting in the wind. And lesson learnt for the future, I suppose. You know, there were some people that were using that quite a lot. I did give it a little burst of power here. I was just keeping an eye on, you know, if anyone was going to come past me at all. And I have taken my foot off the gas here as well. So, you know, it's been a pretty exciting race. I do like these flatter kind of races, especially when I'm not in peak fitness, because it is, for me, easier to just stay in the bunch. But I did kind of have a thought after this that maybe I might want to race up a category or two just to kind of really push my fitness, because for me that actually really helps riding in categories that I think aren't perhaps, well, maybe, you know, push my limits. If I get dropped, I get dropped at the end of the day. But yeah, now you can see this person just go off early. I thought this was way too early, so I kind of stepped on it, but I wanted the person in front of me to kind of bridge that gap. I'm not making that mistake again. But they kind of lift off, and I feel like I've left it a little bit too late here, but still we've got 0.3 miles to go, so we've got a bit of road left. And now I really put my foot down, try and catch them up, and I can see that they've slowed down quite a bit. And now is the time for me to really push on, but I'm afraid time is running out, and it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. I'm really putting in some serious effort here. If you have a look at my face, I'm in quite a lot of pain. That is not a face I like to see often. And yeah, here we go. I'm dead now. I've crossed the line, you know. 3rd place though, you know, and I've not really done a lot of racing, not been on Zwift a lot, so I will take that for my first race back in a little while. And you know, that was really enjoyable, and I hope you've you know, I hope that kind of helps you, you know, get motivated again, get back onto Zwift. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.